The hospital room was a sterile cocoon. Its pale walls and antiseptic smell a stark contrast to the chaos of the city outside. Ellen Harper lay propped against thin pillows, her face flushed with fever, her breath shallow and uneven. The phone trembled in her hand as she listened to the voice on the other end, clipped and unyielding. "Miss Harper, we don't reschedule interviews. If you're not here at 9 a.m., your application will be voided." The line went dead before she could respond. Ellen's arm fell limp, the phone slipping onto the bed, her eyes, red-rimmed and glassy, fixed on the ceiling, where slivers of dawn crept through the blinds. She wasn't just fighting a fever, she was fighting for a lifeline, a chance to pull herself and her daughter, Ava, out of the grind of survival. In her lap, a worn canvas bag held her last shred of hope, a resume, meticulously typed, printed on crisp paper, tucked into a plastic sleeve. Beside it, a post-it note in her own handwriting read, "This is our way out." Tears welled, not from the fever, but from the weight of a dream slipping away. "Please," she whispered, her voice barely audible, "don't let this be the end. Ava deserves better." Across the room, in a plastic chair too big for her small frame, sat Ava, a 4-year-old with chestnut curls and eyes like a summer sky. She'd seen her mother's sacrifice late nights at the diner, skipping meals to buy Ava new shoes, fixing their leaky faucet with duct tape and sheer will. Now, she saw her mother cry. Ava didn't speak. Her tiny hands tightened in her lap, her face solemn beyond her years. When Ellen's eyes fluttered shut, lulled by medication, Ava slid off the chair. She tiptoed to the bed, brushed a damp strand of hair from her mother's forehead, and turned to the canvas bag. With careful hands, she pulled out the resume, its plastic sleeve crinkling softly. She glanced at her mother, then at the coat rack where her favorite dress hung, a lavender sundress with tiny yellow flowers. She slipped it on, smoothed it down, and clutched the resume to her chest. Without a sound, she slipped out of the room, past nurses, past the broken coffee machine, and into the brisk Chicago morning. The city roared around her, honking cabs, chattering pedestrians, but Ava moved with purpose. She'd seen the company's brochure on their fridge. Its sleek logo burned into her memory. Carson Solutions. She boarded the right bus, clutching the resume like a talisman, and 40 minutes later, she stood before a glass tower that gleamed against the skyline. Taking a deep breath, she marched inside. The lobby of Carson Solutions buzzed with the rhythm of a Monday morning, clicking heels, murmured phone calls, the hum of elevators. Behind the reception desk, Clara, a seasoned receptionist with a no-nonsense bob, scanned her schedule. A small shadow fell across the marble counter. She looked up to find a girl, no taller than the desk, in a lavender dress, her socks slightly bunched, a red beret pinning back her curls. In her arms, she held a folder nearly as big as her torso. "Sweetheart," Clara said, leaning forward, "are you lost?" The girl shook her head, her blue eyes steady. "I'm here for the job interview." Clara blinked, certain she'd misheard. "Interview," the girl nodded, lifting the folder higher. "It's for my mom. She's sick, so I came instead." Silence hung for a moment, broken only by the soft ding of an elevator. A few employees slowed, casting curious glances. "What's your name?" Clara asked. "Ava," the girl replied. "My mom's Ellen Harper." Clara scanned her list. There it was, Ellen Harper, 9 a.m., final candidate. She hesitated, then pressed her earpiece. "Lydia, tell Mr. Carson we need him in the lobby. It's urgent, upstairs, in a corner office with a view of Lake Michigan." Nathan Carson sat at his desk. At 34, he was a self-made millionaire, his tailored suit and sharp jawline a testament to his relentless drive. Carson Solutions was his empire, built from late nights and cold calculations. He had little patience for sentimental for interviews that rarely impressed him. His assistant, Lydia, appeared at the door, a rare smirk on her face. "Nathan, you'll want to see this one yourself." He raised an eyebrow. "The Stanford alum." "Not quite," Lydia said. "Just come down. In the lobby. Nathan stepped out of the elevator and froze. A 4-year-old stood in the center of the marble floor, clutching a folder, her dress slightly askew, but her posture defiant. "Ava," he asked, glancing at Clara. The girl's face lit up. "Are you the boss?" Nathan nodded, bemused. "I'm here to show you my mom's papers," Ava said, marching toward him. "She's sick, but she really wants this job. She's the best." She thrust the folder at him. Its edges smudged but intact. The lobby fell silent, onlookers holding their breath. Nathan took the folder, his expression unreadable. Then, a faint smile tugged at his lips, first genuine one his staff had seen in years. "Clear my next 15 minutes, he told Clara. Turning to Ava, he gestured toward a hallway. "Shall we?" In the conference room, Nathan pulled out a chair for Ava. She clambered up, her feet dangling, and sat with the confidence of someone twice her size. Nathan opened the folder, scanning Ellen's resume while stealing glances at the girl. "So, Ava," he said, softening his tone, "why does your mom want to work here?" Ava leaned forward, hands on the table's edge. "Mom works so hard," she said. "She cleans houses, waits tables, delivers food. She never buys anything for herself. She wants a job where she can use her brain again." Nathan's eyes flicked to the resume, a partial college degree, glowing references, a string of low-wage jobs. "She went to college?" he asked. Ava nodded. "She loved it, but she had to stop because of me." Nathan's jaw tightened. "And you think she'd do well here?" "She's smart and kind," Ava said, her voice earnest. "She helps everyone." Nathan paused, then asked, "Why did you come today?" Ava, her smile was radiant. "Mom was sad when she hung up the phone. She wants me to have a better life, so I came to help." Something shifted in Nathan's chest, a crack in the armor he'd worn since childhood. He leaned back, his voice low. "Well, Ava, let's start the interview. For the next 10 minutes, Ava painted a picture of Ellen's life, the endless shifts, the holy shoes she refused to replace, the way she saved every penny for Ava. But it was one sentence that stopped Nathan cold. "Mom doesn't need a lot," Ava said, her voice soft. "She just wants to buy me ice cream every Saturday." Nathan swallowed hard, the simplicity of it piercing. He closed the folder. "Ava," he said, "I think your mom might be exactly who we need." Ava beamed. "Really?" Nathan nodded, then added, "And I know a great ice cream shop nearby." Her eyes sparkled. "Mom would love that." Nathan stood, called for Lydia, and issued quiet instructions. "Find out where Ellen Harper is admitted. Send flowers and a gift for a little girl. Ask if Ellen can interview when she's well." Turning to Ava, he said, "You're very brave. Thank you for coming." Ava shrugged, her dress swishing. "Mom says I'm brave all the time." Nathan held the door for her. "She's right." Back in his office, Nathan sat alone, Ellen's resume open before him. The city hummed beyond his window, but his mind was elsewhere. The resume told a story of promise cut short. A scholarship to Northwestern, honors in marketing, leadership less than nothing. No degree, just a litany of survival jobs: waitress, cleaner, delivery driver. At the bottom, in neat handwriting, was a note: "I'm not asking for pity. I just want a fair shot." Nathan stared at those words, his usual metrics degrees, pedigrees feeling hollow. Ellen hadn't just survived. She'd carried her daughter through a world that offered no mercy. That was the kind of strength he needed at Carson Solutions. He pressed the intercom. "Clara, send a delivery to City General Hospital. Flower simple, not flashy. And a small gift." He glanced at a shelf where a wrapped box sat, meant for a colleague's child, but never given. "Include this." Clara's voice crackled. "For who?" "Ellen Harper," Nathan said. And the message, he thought for a moment. "To the strongest woman I've yet to meet." In the hospital, sunlight warmed Ellen's face as she stirred. The fever had dulled, but her body ached. Her gaze landed on a bouquet of daisies and a cream-colored box tied with a ribbon. A note leaned against the flowers: "To the strongest woman I've yet to meet." Her heart raced. She tore open the box to find a stuffed bear and a card. Panic surged where was Ava. She grabbed her phone, dialing Carson Solutions with trembling fingers. "This is Ellen Harper," she stammered when Clara answered. "I think my daughter, she's only 4, she might have." Clara's chuckle cut her off. "Miss Harper, no need to worrying. Your daughter's the bravest person to walk into our lobby. Our CEO was impressed. He'd like to meet you this afternoon, if you're up for it." Ellen's breath caught. "Are you sure?" "Very sure," Clara said warmly. That afternoon, Ellen stepped out of a cab. Her navy blouse slightly wrinkled, her blonde hair pulled back. Her legs wobbled, but she squared her shoulders and entered Carson Solutions. Clara greeted her like family. "He's expecting you." In Nathan's office, the city skyline framed his silhouette. He rose, his smile genuine. "Miss Harper, I'm glad you're feeling better." Ellen flushed. "I'm so sorry about Ava." Nathan raised a hand. "No apologies. She gave the best pitch I've ever heard." Ellen blinked as he gestured to a chair. "Your resume came with a remarkable endorsement," he said, tapping the folder. "Ava believes in you more than anyone I've met believes in anything." Ellen's eyes dropped, her cheeks burning. "She's my world." Nathan's voice softened. "I can see that, which is why I want to see what you can do here." Ellen's first day at Carson Solutions was like stepping into a parallel universe. The glass-walled offices, the polished efficiency was everything she dreamed of in college, and everything she feared she'd never deserve. Nathan offered her a role as a junior project coordinator. Not a pity hire, but a real position. Her colleagues were polite but distant, their tailored suits and Ivy League banter a world apart from her thrift store skirt and scuffed flats. Whispers followed her. Some said she was hired out of charity. Others ignored her entirely. But Ellen didn't falter. She arrived early, stayed late, devoured training manuals, and asked questions. When she heard, she fixed it and learned. Slowly, the tide turned. A colleague asked for her help with a spreadsheet. Another thanked her for catching a typo in a proposal. Her quiet competence began to speak louder than the rumors. Nathan never hovered, but he noticed. In meetings, he asked about her contributions, ensuring her voice was heard. When Ava had a cold and Ellen needed to leave early, he messaged her, "Family first. Take what you need." When she skipped lunch to finish a report, an extra sandwich appeared in the break room. He never acknowledged these gestures, but Ellen knew. For the first time in years, she felt seen. One evening, as the office emptied, Ellen lingered, polishing a client presentation. The city glowed through the windows, casting her desk in soft light. She didn't hear Nathan approach. "You work harder than people with twice your experience," he said. Startled, she smiled. "I've got a lot of catching up to do." He pulled up a chair. "Mind if I sit?" She nodded. And for a moment, they sat in companionable silence. Then Ellen spoke, her voice low. "I never thought I'd be here. In college, I had plans: marketing, internships. Then I got pregnant my freshman year. The guy I thought I loved vanished. My parents said I'd ruined everything, told me to give up the baby or get out." She paused, twisting her hands. "I got out. I chose Ava, but I lost everything else: a degree, the future I planned." Nathan's gaze was steady. "I was left, too," he said. "Orphaned at 10. No family wanted me. I built this company to control my life. But I never had what you have." "What's that?" Ellen whispered. "Courage," he said. "You chose love when it cost you everything." Tears pricked her eyes. "I thought I was weak." Nathan shook his head. "You're anything but." In that quiet moment, something unspoken passed between them, a mutual recognition of scars, of survival, of respect. Months later, Ellen had transformed. She wasn't just a single mom anymore. She was the coordinator who caught errors, proposed solutions, and earned her place. Her name carried weight, spoken with admiration. Nathan watched her rise, his pride quiet but evident. He found excuses to check in, his glances lingering longer than necessary. But it wasn't just Ellen he'd grown to love, it was Ava. Every Friday, Ava bounced into the office after preschool, her curls flying as she claimed Nathan's couch with her coloring books. She called him boss man when she wanted attention. He called her the real CEO. He cancelled meetings to take her 4 milkshakes, let her ride on his shoulders at company picnics, saved her the last cookie in the lunchroom. Ellen watched, her heart swelling and aching. She'd buried her hopes for love beneath years of practicality. But Nathan's presence steady, kind, unwavering clung that. One evening, as they wrapped up a project in Nathan's office, Ava dozed in the corner, a juice box in hand. Ellen and Nathan laughed over a shared joke, their ease a testament to months of trust. As Ellen reached for Ava's bag, the girl's sleepy voice broke the silence. "Mommy, can I call Nathan Daddy?" The room stilled. Ellen's bag slipped an inch. Nathan froze, his eyes locked on Ava. "Because he picks me up and gets me ice cream," Ava mumbled. "And he makes you smile." Ellen knelt beside her, tears brimming. She'd known it in her bones when Nathan looked at Ava, the way he made space for them both. She glanced at him, fearing rejection, but found only warmth. Nathan crouched beside them. "I'd be honored," he said, his voice thick. Ellen broke, tears falling not from fear, but from belonging. In that moment, they weren't just 3 people, they were a family. A year later, Ellen Harper was no longer the trembling mother who'd walked into Carson Solutions. As a project team lead, she commanded meetings with peers, mentored new hires, and earned accolades. Her confidence radiated, her once modest wardrobe now sprinkled with professional pieces she'd bought herself. Nathan was her Constantha partner, her anchor. Their relationship, initially private, became undeniable. He brought Ava donuts on Mondays. Ellen was the only one who could barge into his office unannounced. Their glances told a story, unquestioned. One colleague quietly cheered for. Ava, too, was a fixture. She had a breakroom chair, a crayon drawer, and a fan club of interns and executives. At a company meeting, she once greeted the room with a chirpy "Good morning, team," a moment immortalized in office lore. To Nathan, she was simply his daughter. At the annual holiday gala, the ballroom shimmered with silver and evergreen. Ellen glowed in a sapphire gown, Ava twirled in white tulle, and Nathan watched them, his black tie impeccable, but his smile unguarded. As dessert was served, he tapped a glass, silencing the room. "We usually talk numbers at these things," he said, his eyes finding Ellen. "Tonight, I want to talk about what changed my life." He glanced at Ava, frosting on her cheeks. "A year ago, a 3-foot-tall girl in a lavender dress walked into my lobby with a resume bigger than she was." Laughter rippled. Ellen's hand covered her mouth, tears welling. "She looked me in the eye," Nathan continued, "and brought more than a resume. She brought courage, hope, and a family I didn't know I needed." He stepped toward them, pulling them close. "To Ellen and Ava," he said, his voice breaking, "thank you for walking into my life when I needed you most." The room erupted in applause, glasses clinking under twinkling lights. They stood together at CEO, employee, and child, but a family forged from bravery and love. Ellen, Nathan, and Ava built a life beyond the office. They moved into a cozy house in Evanston, with a backyard where Ava chased fireflies. Ellen earned her degree part-time, Nathan cheering at her graduation. Ava grew, her drawings now signed Ava Carson. The world hadn't been kind to them, but they'd found kindness in each other, proof that love could bloom in an unlikely plus a boardroom. A hospital bed, a child's unwavering heart, a little girl in a lavender dress, armed with nothing but love and her mother's resume, walked into a world that wasn't built for her and reshaped it. Family isn't always where you start, it's who stands by you when the road gets rough. What did you think of Ellen, Nathan, and Ava's story? In a world often marked by hardship and injustice, their journey raises questions about resilience and fairness. Do you believe courage like Ava's can truly change lives? Or is the system too broken? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective on overcoming adversity and fighting for a better future.